you to know that the mothership has landed.
It's DA on CBS Sports Radio.
What's up, my brother? I want permission to come aboard the mothership.
Asking permission to join a sports talk spaceship? Well, we're all a little crazy. The mothership has connected.
The mothership.
Let's come aboard.
Happy Monday to you, North America. The mothership has connected. Welcome aboard. It's the 4-hour Cosmic Cocktail Party. GA with you from the CBS Sports Radio studios in New York, broadcasting to affiliates nationwide and north of the border. Anchorage to Atlanta, Seattle to St. Pete, Kalamazoo, and Waterloo are on the air.
They listening, D.A. Everything we saying, D.A. Everything.
And we come to you live from the Rocket Mortgage Studios. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can. How are we doing, everybody? Thanks so much for stopping on by. Good show lined up for you. After last night's finale at Heinz Field, for Ben Roethlisberger in a Steelers uniform, one of the greats, a 4-time Super Bowl champion with the Steelers teams of the 1970s. He was clearly one of the cornerstones of the building of a dynasty in Pittsburgh and absolutely embodies that toughness, that spirit, that grit that Pittsburghers, Yinzers love about their Steelers. Rocky Blyer is going to join us here on the show coming up in hour number 4. That should be a lot of fun. Today, also this morning on the program, it's a Trash Tuesday. So what is it after the holidays that's bugging you? Hit me up on the phone at 855-212-4CBS. That's 855-212-4227. Or on Twitter, hit me up with your trashes, DA on CBS. We'll do our trashes coming up here in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. Some around Jetsland feel that Zach Wilson has a, quote, character flaw. Whoa. Also, is it possible that Rob Manfred is silencing his critics by taking them off of the air? Whoa. Caleb Williams, Sooners quarterback star, enters the transfer portal. Whoa. But most importantly today, we promised and will deliver. January the 4th, 2022. It's now become an annual rite of passage. We hit the new year, and that means we celebrate the old one. No show in sports radio celebrates their own history like we do. First, it was the 12 days of Christmas, and today, it's finally here. After hours upon hours of blood, sweat, and tears editing this thing down to just 10 minutes, the one, the only, Pete the Body Bilotti's crowning achievement and personal masterpiece, the Year of the Buffoon!
Chimney.
The Year of the Buffoon will debut coming up an hour from now. And I got a chance to listen to the early cut of this last night. And I can tell you, and this is all honesty, not lathering this on, not playing this up to the crowd, I was in tears by the end of it. I actually had tears in my eyes by the end of it. There's just nothing like it. There's just nothing like taking all of the ridiculous things that Mraz says over the course of a calendar year and stitching them together into one 10-minute drum roll of excellence. So we'll play that for you coming up an hour from now. I'm telling you this right now. If you're getting up, getting ready for your day, driving around, going to work, going to the gym, just make sure you have carved out 10 minutes 1 hour from now. It is absolutely worth every part of your day that you have to move around. I'm telling you this right now. I'm giving you the heads up. Just clear out this time 1 hour from now for 10 minutes. And if you don't leave that segment with your sides hurting or tears in your eyes, you're dead inside. It is incredible. I know it sounds like I'm hyping this thing up, but it's that good. And by the way, every year, I don't think the year of the buffoon can get any funnier, and somehow it does. Somehow there's like 4 things this year that I even forgot Mraz said that Pete put in this thing. Pete, I don't know how you feel about the year of the buffoon, but I feel like this one, I think this one's the apex out of all of them.
It was funny in the beginning. I was like, I don't know, because, you know, when you put it together, you're putting the pieces together. But this year I felt there was a lot of clips that were long. That I felt like I had 40 11-minute clips to go through because it was like one thing on top of another in one clip. So that was the the part I had to put together.
It's just great. It's just is all types of great. Okay, let's start last night. Heinz Field, the Steelers taking on the Browns. This one had a lot baked into it. The Steelers still have an outside chance of making the playoffs, but they had to win last night. Big Ben's 15-year career plus coming to an end last night in front of the home crowd. If the Steelers do back into the playoffs, there's no way they're going to get a home playoff game. Remember, the Browns last year had gone to Heinz Field in the postseason and made the Steelers look silly with all of those turnovers and quick scores early. So that was also inserted into this game. And the Steelers and Browns hate one another. And so Big Ben being able to say so long in front of the home crowd against the bitter rival, this had it all. So would the Steelers rise to the occasion? Would Big Ben rise to the occasion? Would the Steelers get the W so that there was a fond farewell and a warm send-off? It is where we begin. Your cold open.
Cleveland out of timeout. Snap to Roethlisberger. Handoff to Harris. Breaks free. He's gone. 30. Sideline 20. Chase to the sideline 10. The 5. Over the pylon. Touchdown Pittsburgh. And that'll be all she wrote. Steelers are going to win. Big-time touchdown run of 37 by Najee Harris. And sealing this one for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger walking off, pointing to the heavens, hugged by his coach, and the crowd delirious, raising their towels in celebration of their soon-to-be Hall of Fame quarterback.
This is home. I know I was born in Ohio, but I live here, and I'll always be here. And these fans in this place, it means so much to me and my family, and always will. And I've always said that they're the best fans in all of sports, and I'll stick by that to the day I die. And to see all the signs and the jerseys and the towels, and to hear them cheer for me coming out of the tunnel, all that stuff, it just I don't know that I'll ever put it into words, and that's why I want to soak it. I wish I could bottle it and have it forever.
The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending.
It's DA's top story.
Here he goes.
It's your cold open.
Kevin Harlan on Westwood won. The Steelers win 26-14. So, big picture, it was a warm way to send off Big Ben. You get the W. You stay alive in the playoffs. You do it at home in front of the home crowd on a Monday night, national TV. He gets the late touchdown with his offense, gets to come back on the field after the interception, takes the kneel down. Everybody swarming him at midfield. That's the way that it ought to be if you're going to retire as a living legend. That's the way that it ought to be, that you could script it right there. Last night's performance by Ben, last night's game, last night's scene, actually tells us 2 stories about where Ben Roethlisberger is at this point in his career. Number one, from a passing standpoint, that was ugly, that was clunky, and that was inefficient. Ben Roethlisberger threw 46 passes last night. 46. He only had 123 yards through the air. That means his quarterback rating was a 56, and his QBR, which basically it gauges efficiency, his QBR was 12. 12. So, physically speaking, we are seeing the end of what Big Ben can bring to the table as a passer. It takes you nearly 50 passes to get less than 150 yards. It's time. It is time for him to walk away. He just can't help this team move downfield as he used to. But the second part, the more important part, is that celebration of Big Ben, that reception, that outpouring speaks to what he means to that city, that region, as a football culture, a football city, a football state with the legacy that the Steelers have. Big Ben is embraced the same way Mean Joe is, and Franco is, and Bradshaw is, and Swan is, and go down the list. He's one of those guys. And it's hard to crack into that 1970s Steelers run. It's hard to crack that group because that group put Pittsburgh on the map. They created, at that time, the greatest dynasty perhaps in NFL history, following Lombardi's Packers. Still, the 70s Steelers, 4 rings in 6 years, is one of the defining teams in any sport ever. And Big Ben cracks that group. And he represents, for all of the people that don't remember the 70s or weren't born in the 70s, the last 15 years of the Steelers being great again. He went to 3 Super Bowls. He won 2 of them. They were obviously in the playoffs year after year after year. They were a contender most years. And he played nearly 20 in the same uniform. As the starting quarterback, he came in 2004, and he left in 2021, 2022, and he was the starter throughout. As a rookie, he was a starter. In his final year, he was the starter. This wasn't a guy that came in and had to sit, or at the end of his career was a backup, molding some young quarterback. He was the guy under center every Sunday for Pittsburgh fans for 18 years. And he won, and won big. He's a slam dunk Hall of Famer. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He spent his entire career with the Steelers and represents, for many, a wonderful era. It wasn't like Big Ben oversaw a bunch of 8-8s and 6-10s and 7-9s. They never had a losing season with Big Ben. So it was time. It is time. You see that from the numbers last night of the production last night. But you also see what he meant and why last night was special. And how even somebody that didn't play in the 1970s for the Steelers can be a living legend just like those guys. We'll talk to somebody who was part of those 1970s teams, Rocky Blyer, later on in the show about Big Ben's connection to that city and that franchise. Steelers get the win 26-14. Here is your phone number, 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227 on Twitter, DA on CBS. So here is the AFC playoff picture. Titans, Chiefs, Bengals all have won their divisions. They are in. The Bills lead the AFC East. They've clinched a playoff spot, but not the division. They need to beat the Jets on Sunday to clinch the AFC East. The Patriots are in. they can slip into the AFC Wild Card Championship winner picture if they win and beat the Dolphins and the Bills lose coming up on Sunday. But the Patriots are in. Who's not in? The Colts, but they right now are the 6th seed, the Chargers, and the Raiders. Those are the teams right now at 9-7 battling for those final 2 playoff spots. The Steelers are a half game out of that at 8-7-1. When it happened, I said it, and it just keeps rearing its ugly head. The tie against the Lions. Had you just beaten the Lions, you're 9-7 right with those teams. Instead, you're 8-7-1. That just happened to be the day, the week, that Big Ben was out with COVID, which meant that annoying little face of Mason Rudolph that's just so punchable was in there starting for the Steelers. They stunk. They tied the Lions, and that's probably going to keep them out of the playoffs the way that it goes this year for the Steelers. This entire offseason is going to be fascinating for the Steelers in what they do at quarterback. Do they try to land one of these veteran QBs? The Steelers are not ones to trade away a bunch of draft capital, but there is seemingly going to be a handful of veteran QBs, perhaps elite QBs available out there, like a Russell Wilson, perhaps an Aaron Rodgers, perhaps a Deshaun Watson. Will they get a next tier down from that in a veteran? Will they try to draft the next guy and thrust him right in there with a team that has a good defense and a decent running game most days, some days? Will they bring in a veteran to mentor a young draft pick? Mike Tomlin's not one to lose. He's been there 15 years and never had a losing season. The Steelers don't do that. So the offseason for the Steelers at quarterback is going to be fascinating. When we come back here on the show, we have got your sound check, your best audio of the day. A couple of weeks ago, we played this clip where Bill Belichick actually apologized to reporters. Today, he's getting all happy, fuzzy, and warm about babies. The hell is going on out there? Grab, 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 grab. Everyone's grabbing. The hell is going on? And Nick Sirianni, super pumped to make the playoffs. That's next. DA, CBS Sports Radio.
CBS presents this program in color.
An educated person can't think he's going to get a recruit by strippers coming in.
They can fire you, but they can't eat you.
And they run through our ass like through a tin horn, man, and we could not stop them.
The audio you need to hear. It's DA's Soundcheck.
We remind you also the DA show is available in podcast form. Anything that you may have missed or want to hear again, like today's Year of the Buffoon, which will air coming up in about 35 minutes from now. Remember that you can always get in podcast form the 4 full hours of the show or the best of, always available. Just search The DA Show on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe, rate, and review. Well, look, we've all made fun of Nick Sirianni over the course of this season. He said some goofy things. He wore some goofy things. We didn't expect anything out of the Eagles. Many thought it was one of the worst rosters in the NFC. And yet here they are at 9-7 with a game to play, and they've already clinched a playoff berth in the NFC. So obviously Nick Sirianni, like a little puppy dog, is thrilled, right?
You come home from a game and you are always exhausted, even though, I'm not playing, obviously, but that coaching just emotionally takes a lot out of you, and so you're exhausted. You get home, and so by the time that it was actually clinched, I don't let myself get too excited, even though it was 37-10 at one point. You kind of wait until the whole thing. I was ready to go to bed by the end of it, but obviously we're really excited to be in the tournament, and but like I said, we got to focus on beating Dallas. And the plan that goes into that, we got to focus on getting better from the game that we played yesterday. But obviously, we're all excited to be in this situation.
Just shut up.
The goal is obviously to run it out and go as far as we can in this thing.
Okay, all right, okay. Sirianni's always so exhausting. He just keeps talking. I said this yesterday. Wouldn't it be interesting if it's the Bengals with Burrow and Chase that end up stacking all of the rings we assumed the Chiefs were going to stack? Of course, we're a ways away from this, but wouldn't that be an interesting plot twist? Wouldn't it be interesting as a plot twist if Nick Sirianni actually is an awesome head coach? If after all the clowning that we did, after everything that we made fun of before the season, how he got hired, after his press conferences and watering the plants and wearing a Beat Dallas t-shirt to a press conference and saying so many dorky, weird things, wouldn't it be interesting if the Eagles actually nailed this? Because the Eagles run the football as well as anybody in the NFL does. And the first month of the season, they absolutely refused. For some reason, Nick Sirianni acted as though it was a criminal enterprise to even think about running the football. And yet, here they are, and they're dominant on the ground. That's why they're 9-7 and have already wrapped up a playoff spot with a game to play. And what another twist of the knife it would be for Giants fans such as Mraz, who thought they had nailed the coaching hire a year ago, 2 years ago with Joe Judge, young guy, comes from the Belichick tree. Mraz had called him the next Tom Landry, intense, looks like, sounds like a football coach, gym teacher. And then Nick Sirianni walks in, and he's hired, and he's like the last guy interviewed. He's wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt and flip-flops when he comes into the offices. He says all these dopey things, doesn't sound the part, doesn't look the part, looks like he's one and done. And that the Eagles actually nailed it and the Giants didn't? Imagine. Imagine that twist, that plot twist. Let's put on Mraz's microphone here.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I look, Sirianni, fine. Did a decent job. Rock, paper, scissors worked. They're a well-run organization.
That's a really good job he did. We thought that before the season, I need Cap to go back into the archive.
No, I thought they would stink. It'd be a bottom 5 team.
You said they had one of the worst rosters in the NFC, and they're 9-7. So you can't say that that's because they got a good organization. Their coaching made up for lack of talent.
Well, he's had terrible clock management, terrible use of timeouts, terrible when to go for it, when not to on fourth down. They're a really well-run organization that's had the right players and the right depth.
What do you mean? You said it was a bottom 5 roster in the NFL.
I have watched every Eagle game, and I've never seen a team stumble and, despite its coach, week in and week out to make the playoffs quite like the Eagles did with Nick Sirianni.
Oh, wow.
I do believe that. And I think this is a credit to Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles. Year in and year out, it doesn't matter the circumstances. They are such a well-run organization now. And now they have 3 first-round picks. I'm giving the Eagles credit, but I'm telling you, they still have a bumbling buffoon of a head coach.
Okay, so what were you wrong on? You were wrong that they didn't have bad talent. They actually have good talent.
Right, and Hurts got better and better and better as the year went on.
And that's not Sirianni's
it could, okay, if that's
responsibility?
So that's fair. It's where you determine on a head coach. I'm talking about in-game adjustments, management, all that kind of stuff that a lot of coaches
adjustments? I mean, they didn't run the football for the first month of the season. Now they're the best running football. That's an adjustment.
I'm talking about in-game. Now you want to talk about throughout the year, seeing how it goes. Doesn't know when to use timeouts. I'm talking about all that stuff that we kill coaches for.
So game management.
Game management, he's really, really bad at. But if you want to give him credit for getting Jalen Hurts going offensive line, fine, okay. We don't see those things, and maybe that is true. Then he does deserve credit. But give the Eagles, I hate giving the Eagles as an organization credit. They're such a better, well-run organization than the Giants. Better ownership, better general manager, better roster, everything.
Jalen Hurts got better as the year went on. The run game became dominant as the year went on. They have 9 wins already before the end of the season. Some of that is Nick Sirianni.
Okay, fine. Some of it is Nick Sirianni. But I'm not ready to throw bouquets and go, oh my goodness, can you believe Nick Sirianni got the Eagles to the playoffs? And by the way, I did say 2 NFC East teams would make the playoffs this year. I was right about that. I just thought the Eagles would be in last
I
week.
can't believe you would take credit for any NFC East prediction. You thought the Giants were going to be in the playoffs. You thought the Eagles were going to be a bottom 5 team of the NFL. You were so confident in the Giants making the playoffs, you bet going out there naked as of 5 weeks ago. And the Giants are a disaster. Judge might get run out of town, and Nick Sirianni's in the playoffs.
And in the last 5 weeks, Joe Judge coached circles around and beat Nick Sirianni and the Eagles 10-7, if we remember. They had Jalen Hurts completely fooled in that game. Where were the adjustments from Sirianni that day?
Coach circles around him.
Coach circles around them and managed to win a game.
Here's Bill Belichick. Why are we seeing the kinder, softer side of Bill Belichick these days?
About Christian Wilkerson and just the decision to make him active, especially, with Nikhil going down. Is that a special teams consideration, or what goes into that decision for you and the staff? Sorry about the background noise there.
No worries. I can see you're multitasking here, so...
Not going real well. You can tell.
Yeah, we've all been there.
He's just BSing now. This is unbelievable.
What?
He's just BSing.
No worries.
Look, one of two things is happening. Either this is better of a season than he could have ever imagined with a rookie quarterback, did not assume they were going to make the playoffs, and is playing with house money, so he's just happy about that. No expectations, no Super Bowl scrutiny, no war with Brady over how much money, who to sign, how to run the offense, etc., and he's just happy-go-lucky. Or he's making an active decision to be kind to the media for some end goal, because all Belichick is strategy. And I think it's the latter. I don't think he's just really just happy to be here and treating people nice. I think that there's strategy, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago when we played the clip of him being apologetic to the media for being snippy after the loss. And I think it has to do with hoping he can change the narrative of him in the media for perhaps when he retires or if the team gets bad again. And so then he's built up some goodwill and some soft press.
No worries.
But I mean, come on. I don't care that he beat the Jaguars by 50 points. Belichick's never been that nice. No matter if it was after a blowout win or a loss. Never been. No worries. Sounds like you're multitasking. We've all been there.
I got to bring Yankee Doodle to start barking on the next Zoom meeting with Belichick here.
He's strategic. This is about something. And finally, Antonio Brown took to Cameo yesterday. If you're wondering what Cameo is, that's where you could pay celebrities to do personal messages for you. And AB, who played for years with Big Ben Roethlisberger, weighed in on Big Ben's final game.
I know you're sad about Ben Roethlisberger retiring, but it's not over for Ben yet. I know everyone's wondering, is his last game in Pittsburgh tonight, and would it end like this? But it may not end like this. I know Ben, he's a competitor. He loves to play football, one of the greatest quarterbacks all time, and I just don't see him hanging it up. So, Patrick, you and all other Steelers fans who are looking to think Big Ben is playing his last game in Huntsville, I wouldn't tip my hat on that yet. I wouldn't bet on that yet because Big Ben has a lot of football yet left, and he didn't say that his career was over. He didn't say that it was his last game in Huntsville. So we can't speculate and recollect upon him not playing anymore. So let's be positive. Let's cheer him on. Let's wish for one of his best games tonight, and let's keep business booming.
Okay, so AB just said, let's not speculate and recollect. I don't even know what that means. Speculate and recollect? Number two, how much is it to get Antonio Brown on Cameo? Because I'm looking on Cameo right now. He didn't come up. So I need to know the price of getting Antonio Brown to do a Cameo message after that. Did his rate go up because he's now the biggest talk topic in the NFL? I don't want to speculate and recollect exactly on how much it costs to get Antonio Brown.
For personal use, $300. For business, $2,000.
$300, huh?
Get lost.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you'd pay $300 for a 30-second message of Antonio Brown just saying words?
As long as he said speculate and reculate, that's it.
Let me tell you, AB is $300. I got a value for you. In fact, I would almost guarantee once I tell you this price, Mraz books this person immediately for a message maybe to his fat notebook or to one of his daughters or maybe Valentine's Day to Danielle. Did you know William Hung, She Bangs,
Oh, I forgot about him.
is on Cameo? How much would you pay, Mraz, for William Hung in a message?
$8.
Come on, that's not fair.
What do you mean? He hasn't been around in like a decade.
You know it's going to be more than that.
I actually was thinking we're going deal. Okay, 15?
Well, it's more than that.
He should pay me $8.
Are you kidding me? William Hung's charging more than $15 at this stage in his career?
$30. That's good.
Oh, that is way overpriced.
Really?
William Hung hasn't been relevant in a decade.
I don't know. I don't think.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. You are 10 years behind on TV.
Right,
so
he's
to
new.
you, that is great value.
I don't know. I thought that was a good deal, $30. No? Am I wrong on this?
It's William Hung and TLC on DVD's cassette tape.
DA would pay $50 for the Gangnam Style guy.
Is that not the same guy?
No. Hey, sexy lady.
Wait a second. She Bangs and Gangnam Style's a different guy?
Yes.
I think that Psy is Gangnam Style.
Yeah. One's a real song. William Hung is an American Idol misfit.
She Bangs, She Bangs.
Definitely 2 decades off.
Man, you learn something new every day.
DA can't buy a PS2 right now.
When you thought of William Hung at $30, you thought Gangnam Style?
No, I knew She Bangs. That's why I said She Bangs, but...
And that's all he's got.
That's
He's got
it.
2 lines, she bangs, she bangs. That's all he's got. And you want to pay $30 for that and tell me it's a great deal.
Better be my script if I'm paying $30.
No, yeah, you get to write it. Well, actually, no, I don't know. If
But who cares what he says other than she bangs, she bangs?
So we can speculate and recolate upon.
All right, $30. Is anybody here at CBS Sports Radio on Cameo? Tiki must be on Cameo. How much is Tiki?
Give me a sec.
I'm pretty sure BT is.
Is BT on Cameo?
I believe he is, yeah. John Rothstein, friend of the show, very, very big on Cameo.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
And how much does a John Rothstein cost?
BT charges $25.
Who?
BT is $25.
The big
ragu.
Way
Okay.
overpriced.
Okay. You see? BT, for just $5 more, you get a national celebrity, William Hung.
Rothstein's $100 a cameo.
Well, that's a
Peeps with
Oh,
salsa.
come on.
It's about the money. MONEYDA.
Rothstein's $100?
And one of his 9 daily scheduled tweets reminds you that he's available for birthdays, holidays, bar mitzvahs, personal messages on Cameo.
That's why I went for my birthday.
Every morning you're reminded that he's out there if you need it.
What? I need to know Drake's RPI?
You might.
Sean Pendergast is $25, our weekend guy.
Okay.
So we got that same price as BT. We got nothing for Tiki, nothing from Rome.
We should put Pete on, see what happens.
Get your money's worth. I'll tell you that much. I would if I put me up there for $10.
$10?
I would invest into everything that everybody that wanted to buy. I'm investing.
Zach Gelb, $125.
No,
Stop
come
it.
on.
Stop.
I'm just kidding.
No.
That's not right.
That was believable, though.
That actually was
I
for a
thought you
moment.
all for a
Yeah.
sec.
That actually was for a moment. I don't know. William Hung, $30. That's so bad?
Well, guys, we know what to get him for his birthday.
Is Shep on there yet?
It charges $40.
Shep apologizes to you the whole time for paying for cameo.
Man, I'm so sorry you had to pay this money, man. I'm just so sorry. But I appreciate your PayPal payment that just came through. I'm looking at it right now. So I know you could be using this money for something better than just getting a message out of me, but I can tell you, you are going to be great. You've just turned 16 years old. And at this sweet 16, You should think about your dreams, your goals.
And with your payment, I can now get a tuna fish sandwich online.
Man, you're going to have the best bat mitzvah you could ever imagine. You're now growing into a woman.
Who I may one day keep in my apartment as my fake girlfriend.
I would pay for that. Him talking about box socials. And
Yeah, teaching us about Mickey Mantle, how fast he was.
For all the kids out there at this bar mitzvah right now listening, let me tell you a little story about somebody called the Commerce Comet. That'd be the Mickey Mantle, one of the M&M boys.
I think it could have been a little better.
For all you 13-year-olds right now in the crowd, sit back. I got a story about the summer of 61. Have you guys ever heard of Brett Gardner? Well, this guy was even better than him. You can imagine that. Imagine Brett Gardner in the 50s.
I feel like your Shep has lost some of its blues vibe.
Totally.
It's more like a golden oldies DJ.
I've lost the shit.
The latest from Motown.
I was disgustingly off.
You've gone north in your musical vibes.
This is Shep. This is Shep hosting Entertainment Tonight. At 62 years old.
Mary Hart.
Are there different Sheps on Cameo? Like there's NBA Shep, there's talk show host Shep, there's dog walker Shep, JV
Shep.
basketball coach Shep.
That's actually
the full menu.
He's an action figure. You just put on his different costumes. Shep with a kung fu grip brings his garbage bag full of belongings.
Was it G.I. Joe? Choose your own adventure? You just start playing Shep and you just decide where you want to go on a given day.
They sell the Shep Dream House to go along with it. It's just dandruff everywhere, bed bugs.
Mommy, today I lost all the dogs that I walked. As I played the Shep Choose Your Own Adventure game.
The Shep board-op figure is has to be in the box. You can't take it out of the box.
Shep, the sports historian. Shep's got...
It's money right there.
Okay. All right, AB has our headline.
Got 30 seconds, AB.
Yeah, thanks, guys. The Browns were out of playoff contention before Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. It has been a disappointing season in Cleveland, to say the least, partially because Baker Mayfield has not been good, partially because he hasn't been healthy all season long.
I've continued to lay it out on the line when I haven't been healthy and tried to fight for our guys. And right now, I'm pretty damn beat up, to be honest with you. There's no way around it. I gave it everything I had tonight.
Baker's been dealing with a torn labrum in his left shoulder since week 2. He'll have off-season surgery. He may skip Sunday's finale since it means nothing. Last night, he was 16 for 38, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was sacked 9 times, 4 by T.J. Watt. His Steelers winning Big Ben's likely final game in Pittsburgh, 26-14, keeping them alive barely at the bottom of the AFC playoff picture at 8-7-1. NBA last night, the T-Wolves have a 3-game slide, 122-104 at the Clippers, and Trae Young scored an NBA season-high 56, but his Hawks lost in Portland 136-131. Anthony Simons, a career-high 43 in that win for the Blazers. DA, back to you.
Thank you, Bogues. When we come back here on the show, did Rob Manfred get an MLB writer fired? Next, DA, CBS Sports Radio.
Beyond from me? Monfils?
Oh, Gael Monfils?
Yeah, him.
It's DA on CBS Sports Radio.
51 minutes past the hour. DA with you here on CBS Sports Radio. Thanks for sticking with us and being patient on the simulcast. We've got it up and cooking right now. And so coming up at the top of the hour, you'll want to be here watching it at watchda.com to get our live reactions to the Upcoming Year of the Buffoon montage, which is in the holster for 20 minutes from now. Make sure you are here for that. The Year of the Buffoon montage, which is just all types of brilliant. Rob Manfred reportedly got Ken Rosenthal pushed out of MLB Network. Now, Ken Rosenthal, you know, because he is all over the Major League Baseball coverage. He's on the sidelines. He breaks news. He's kind of everywhere, and he's been a really good reporter for a really long time, and he's been with the baseball-owned MLB Network for more than a decade. Rosenthal is the guy with the bow ties on the sideline at playoff games and Fox World Series games, etc. He's really good. But apparently he was too critical of Manfred, especially last year when they were trying to get baseball back on the field during all of those intense negotiations. And because of it, reportedly, Manfred had him taken off of MLB Network for a couple of months, and now MLB Network has simply moved on. Now, MLB Network is not saying that had to do with the commissioner's office telling them what to do. There's just normal talent turnover. But if this is true, this would be a really terrible look for Rob Manfred. I think we all understand that when you are at a league-owned network, NFL Network is owned by the NFL. So they don't go out of their way to crush Roger Goodell. They're never going to crush Roger Goodell. But I think that it would be a huge story if Roger Goodell got one of their guys fired, especially somebody who's as notable as Rosenthal. When you think about baseball writers, it's kind of Tom Verducci and then Ken Rosenthal, and there's really nobody else at that level. So you're canning or you're pushing out the door one of the most notable guys that does it. I think that's a really dangerous precedent to set. I think it makes you look really sensitive and domineering when it comes to silencing your critics, and that's just a really bad look. So I'm not saying you don't have to understand how to play politics if you're Rosenthal at a league-owned network. You're obviously not just going to take double-barrel action to every one of the owners, the commissioner's office, the league, etc. But in terms of making sure a guy doesn't work on your network, it does not make you look very good at a time when, let's face it, the commissioner's office deserves a lot of criticism. It's not like you watch Major League Baseball and go, boy, they're killing it. Everything that they do is coming up roses. No. The same thing on NBA channel. If NBA TV fired a guy because he actually had written something critical of Adam Silver, we'd say, boy, that's a bad look for Adam Silver. Bad look for Rob Manfred. When we come back, Tua Tagovailoa's last couple of games, ugly. Sunday, the worst. What has to happen to the Dolphins offense? Plus the Year of the Buffoon.